We have been getting so many PC handhelds, and it's been amazing. There have been some truly astonishing releases, so many new companies coming in and making their own handhelds. It's really awesome to see such rapid development in this space. And one relative newcomer to this space, Orange Pi, has been slowly releasing their products. I recently actually have received an email from Orange Pi themselves telling me about their whole situation when it comes to shipping and availability. Because if you remember, I talked about in my previous video mentioning Orange Pi that I had my concerns and just overall the lack of information, even on their own forum, wasn't extremely clear if this thing was out yet, only in reviewers' hands, or just any kind of situation like that was relatively unclear given what Orange Pi themselves have stated. But now, from my conversation with Orange Pi, I now have some level of understanding of what's happening. They're actually doing a very small batch of 280 units for mostly their early adopters in the Chinese market. And they have planned for a much bigger initial mass production batch later this year. That's very exciting because the Orange Pi Neo was one of the first devices that I truly think could compete with the Steam Deck on a sheer price and performance level. Because this device comes with the Ryzen 7 7840U, which is basically what the Z1 Extreme is. They both share the same 780M graphics, so performance should be nearly identical between the two. And because of that, you might think, oh, it probably will cost about as much as one of those devices. This device is set to be around $499 and $599 for an 8840U base system, which isn't really that compelling because they share the same 780M graphics, just a slightly more improved CPU architecture. But it's like it's an upgrade, but it's not really an upgrade, so I wouldn't really necessarily spend the money on that one. But irregardless of that, it is a very compelling value. And it's one of my favorite upcoming handhelds coming later this year. Another one of those handhelds that are coming out relatively soon is the Zotac Zone. And I'm particularly interested in this device because it has a 120Hz OLED display. I love the Steam Deck OLED. It's probably one of the best displays out there. But the Zotac Zone will have a higher-end processor, a nicer screen at 120Hz with 800 nits of brightness. It's going to be an incredible experience. The Zotac Zone will be using an 8840U, which is the same 780M graphics that we're used to in the Z1 Extreme, but a slightly improved CPU architecture. But overall performance should be basically the same. But that makes me super disappointed because with the recent benchmarks and data coming out about the all-new AMD Ryzen AI 300 chips, terrible naming scheme, but they have the all-new 880 and 890M graphics, which show a dramatic increase in performance, which will be amazing to have in games. These chips outcompete a lot of low-end graphics cards, things like the 1650 and the RTX 2050 get absolutely destroyed by these new integrated graphics on the new AMD chips. That makes the next generation of these PC handhelds very, very exciting. But knowing that the Zotac Zone is coming relatively late to the party with the chips that we've already grown used to, it's not going to be particularly exciting in terms of its performance, especially when it's $800. When next generation handles are just right around the corner, and this thing is expected to come out in September, relatively late in the year, it is going to be a little disappointing when it starts getting compared to all the next generation handhelds coming out earlier next year. So overall, the Zotac Zone, while amazing, might be just a little too late to the party. A device that I recently talked about, the MSI Claw, also is already getting a new revision or sequel. It has now been dubbed the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, which is a really dumb name because it implies there's been 7 previous MSI Claws, but that's neither here nor there. It is going to be based on the Lunar Lake Intel chipset, which from what we've seen from leak benchmarks should be pretty decent, but that remains to be seen in any official capacity because the MSI Claw originally was expected to be pretty decent too, and that turned into a just flaming dumpster fire. I believe it gets its name from its 8-inch display, but that doesn't really matter. The MSI Claw 2, or 8 AI, or whatever the heck they're truly calling this thing, is apparently set to come out in Q4 this year with a whole new redesign, which might be interesting to see, but I would not get your expectations high, even with the fact that it will have an 80 watt-hour battery supposedly and up to 50% more GPU performance than the current Meteor Lake designed Claw. All these new specs sound pretty amazing, but I really wouldn't get your expectations too high. Just some tepid skepticism. Now, moving along to the next upcoming device is the Lenovo Legion 2. I'm very excited about this device because I've had a very turbulent relationship with the Legion Go, but after all this time, I do actually really like the device. And recently, according to attendees at Lenovo Innovate 24 conference, the Legion Go 2 has been confirmed by Lenovo gaming category manager Cliff Chong. You also might have remembered some leaks and rumors or whatnot about the Lenovo Legion Go Lite, and it is unconfirmed whether this Legion Go 2 is the same Legion Go Lite device rumored about. I like to think there were separate devices or that one of them got scrapped for the other, because I honestly don't know if the Legion Go Lite is necessary if they're making a Legion Go 2. But if the Legion Go Lite is a thing and it comes out at a much cheaper price point, I might be convinced it's a good enough device as long as it meets my price and overall usability requirements. We have no concrete detail about if or when this thing's coming out, so take those with a grain of salt, but I thought it'd be interesting to talk about because I like the Legion Go, and if a sequel's coming out, that's super exciting. Now we're moving into the more rumors and speculation territory of PC handhelds in quotations. Xbox is potentially working on their own handheld. I haven't really looked in too deep about these rumors, but just the idea of them making a handheld is actually very compelling. Some of the rumors I've seen say it should release with the next generation Xbox, which honestly would make a lot of sense for them to do so. On top of the rumors of Sony also making their own handheld set to release either with the PlayStation 6 or somewhere in between the PlayStation 6 and PlayStation 5, being able to play both their games, which I would say is highly unlikely, but the Xbox handheld is another matter. I think it'd be very interesting to see Microsoft finally take a swing at this portable market, which they have woefully neglected, only partnering occasionally with manufacturers of handhelds for their streaming devices like the Logitech G Cloud, which I seriously do not like that device because game streaming is a terrible idea. But I do understand why people do it. I just have terrible internet. Even though I do meet the requirements for most cloud gaming services, every time I try it just feels terrible. The latency or the picture quality is just incredibly bad. Microsoft moving in to make PC handhelds actually might make a lot of sense, especially with the rise of these PC handhelds. And with all this discussion of Microsoft potentially making a more handheld-friendly version of Windows, or at least some sort of handheld-friendly skin, it would allow them to maybe make their own PC handheld for Xbox. It would be very interesting to see them go down this route. It might be the right thing they can do to sort of revitalize the Xbox brand, because as of recently, the Xbox has been bleeding games and buyers of the console because sales have dropped like over 50%. It's almost like what Nintendo did back when the Wii U failed. Nintendo saw the success that they had with their mobile devices and decided to merge their two segments together to make the ultimate handheld, the Nintendo Switch. And if Xbox, i.e. Microsoft, can merge what makes these PC handhelds so amazing together with their Xbox, it might be able to make the perfect Xbox console, home device, mobile device hybrid. Though I do not foresee Microsoft ever making a home console, hybrid system, but the idea of them having a portable option available might be something they may consider. At the very least, potentially partner with one of these other companies making these PC handhelds like Asus or Lenovo. Something that would be super cool to see, though incredibly unlikely, is Microsoft partnering with Valve to make the perfect Steam Deck 2. Though, like I said, incredibly unlikely and just wild conjecture and just fun ideas that I personally think would be amazing. But I would love to hear what you guys think down below. What is your favorite upcoming handheld device? I know I didn't talk about any Android things because this was more focused on the PC side of things, but I would love to hear what your favorite device on this list was, or if I missed any. I would love to hear what you guys think about this down below. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the other social media coverage down below. And last but not least, have a wonderful day.